Welcome back to those of you who have already joined me for the part one in finding the original price of a mattress. And we are going to move on to the next part, which is finding the sale price. I'm going to reiterate again, just in case you skipped the first one, about the visual of 100% minusing or subtracting the portion of the price that we are not going to be responsible for. In this case, the sale. So I'm using the same numbers but in a slightly different order, and you'll see that it's very important to make sure that you get them in the right order, or you're going to end up with the wrong amount for the original versus the sale and so forth. So this one is, what if we already know the original price, but the sales team did not give us the sales price? So we see the tag, we see that it said 38% off, but what do we actually have to pay? So in this case, the 570 is the entire 100%. We are looking for, I'm going to come back up here, if the sale is 38 right here, 38%, then we will be responsible for 62%, and the entire amount will be our 570 this time. Last time they gave us the 570 is the blue part. This one, we want to find how much if the entire price is 570. So we're going to come down here and just kind of go through it again, just I guess kind of logically, intuitively, and not by memorizing an equation. So I'm just going to think, okay, so I have this full price, that whole pie is going to be 570. So I want to find out how much I am responsible for, but I don't know that. So I'm going to put sales price because I don't know what I'm going to have to pay. To find that amount though, I'm going to be subtracting something from my entire original amount, which was 570. So I'm going to go ahead and put my 570 here, and I'm going to be finding a portion of that. And we did up here before that in finding a portion of it, we take the entire 100% and subtract what we are not going to be responsible for. So in this case, what I'm not going to be paying, or I'm not responsible for, is the 38% off. So I'm going to take my 100, or 1, sorry, I should change that to a decimal, and I'm going to subtract my 0.38 because I don't have to pay that 38% or the 0.38 of the 100. This gives me, I'm just going to copy and paste that, it makes it easier, the same percentage right here, 0.62. So I'm going to pay 62% of the original amount, which was, all of it was 570. So I only have to pay for 62% of that, and I just multiply those. So I'm going to do that here by copying and pasting in here, equals, copy V, take out any extra. Yep, it looks good. No more spaces. I'm going to go ahead and press enter, and this gives me a sales price of $353.40. Now I'm going to think to myself, does that make sense? Well, if I went in and I saw a price tag of $570, I worked out that I would be paying less than that, then yeah, that makes sense. If I ended up with a higher amount, then that's wrong. I don't want that sale that gives me more. I want something that's going to make mine less. Now, here, where I put it over here on the price to pay, it did give us more because that was finding the original. The original was more expensive, and we only had to pay this much of the 919. But what I went through here was finding the sales price, which should be less. And that's good. That means I only have to pay $353 instead of the $570. Just like right here, I only had to pay the $570 of the $919. And I think that getting those two backwards often gets confusing. So if you're finding that confusing, kind of break it down and think if you were actually walking into a store and found a sale, that what you have versus how much you're going to have to pay, or what percentage of the total you're going to be responsible for. All right, that one was a little faster than the last one, and you'll notice that I actually didn't have to do a whole lot of solving because I didn't divide anything, I just multiplied it. And so a lot of people will revert to this just because it's faster. Make sure that you're working through which one do you have and which one do you, will you be responsible for the sale. All right, I'm going to do a part 3 for finding the tax prices.